Hi everybody, on this segment I'm going to show you guys how to cape out a whitetail. I get so many requests all the time from my friends and people I don't know call me because they're going out of state, and you cannot bring these whitetail back in this condition. They have to be caped out. The antlers got to be cut off, the brains got to be taken out. So let's get at it, and I'm going to show you guys how it's done. The very first thing you do is you make a cut from antler to antler, and I like to go 3/4 of the way behind the antler and just make a cut straight across. Just like that, open that right up. Now, take your knife down here and bring it down the back of the antler, the head. And actually what I do, I only go about 6 inches down. Now this particular buck here has actually got a frozen neck on it because I took it out of the freezer, or the guy took it out of the freezer, just dropped it off. Okay, now you got a T-cut is what you got here. Okay, once you get this T-cut opened up, what I like to do is take my knife and stick it right behind that first cut you made. See how I'm peeling that antler off from that, or that hide off from that antler? Same with this side. Just open it up. Now once you get this thing started, like I got a little lip on both sides, do the same thing with the back of it. I peel this hide back, just like that. Fairly simple, both sides. And I do the same thing. I start my cut right along the antler, make a little cut right by the antler. Open that up, the same with this side. Open that up. Now, I grab a screwdriver. And you can take this screwdriver. This is really nice because when you do it this way, you don't have to worry about trying to cut all around that antler, and then you make little slices in it. And it just doesn't make a very nice job for the taxidermy. So you take your screwdriver, see how you peel that off? Just run that screwdriver, twist it, run it right around that antler, just like that. I mean, fairly simple. And right there you just saved probably about 10 minutes per antler with that screwdriver in there. You do the same thing with this side here. Take your screwdriver in, pound it right around the antler. See how that just peels right around that antler? Just like that, all the way around it. Now you got both sides broken loose. Okay, now you just continue working this hide right around this ear. Like I say, I made a cut down here that's about 8 inches long. Now it's nice not to cut these things all the way down the back, because then the taxidermy's got to sew them up. So just open that thing up on both sides. Do the same with this side. Like I say, this neck here is going to be a little bit tougher because the neck's frozen on it, so I got to work around that neck. Normally they're not frozen when you work on it. I just had to finish breaking that skin there off that antler on that side. I didn't get it all the way through. See, now it is. Okay, when you get this here worked all the way down to the ear butts, like this. Now here's your base of your ear butt right here. You can see this ear butt base right here. You can feel it right there moving. Take your knife and go about 1 inch down here, right where the skull starts, and just make a cut right there. Make sure you're not cutting no skin. Make sure that skin's cut back far enough to where you don't make no cuts on that hide. And just cut that down till you see that ear butt, and just cut it right through it. I mean, you see the ear butt, the hole of the ear butt right there. That's all you're looking for. Now you just finish skinning it. That's how simple the ears are. Okay, now when you get both sides done, I like to flip him over on his face, or on his back, face up, wipe some of that blood off him. Now, I take my knife, and the reason I do this is because if you skin him from the neck to the face, it's hard to get your right cut you need. What I like to do, I just go in here, open his mouth up a little bit, his lips, and I take from the hair down into the lip. You need about 1/4 inch is what you really need. So what I do is I just make my cut 1/4 inch. So I got a 1/4 inch lip on the inside of that all the way around. Fairly simple. Very straight down it. Make sure you don't cut the lip or the hide, the hair. Okay, and then you do the same thing to the bottom. Stick your knife in there, about a 1/4 inch skin, cut right around the circle. Your bottom lip, keep her at a 1/4 inch, right straight down. Now just peel it back, that's all you gotta do. Not a lot to it. Some people get a little bit nervous, you know, when the first one they do, of course they're going to, but it's not that hard. Now, you've got the top all opened up, you've got the bottom lip pulled down. Let's do the same thing. Put your fingers behind the lip so you can feel where the lip is, and take a 1/4 inch cut right down to the hide. You put your finger there, right down to the hide. That's how simple it is. You can see where the hide is right there. Don't cut through the hide. You just cut the skin. Just like that. Okay. Same with this side here. Open this up. Make your cut right to the skin. Right straight down the skin. 1/4 inch cut. Just like that. Now you got that lip all cut off from there. Just follow the skin down. Okay, now if you look at this, both sides are cut all the way around it. Now the nose is a little bit trickier, but it's not that bad at all. Guy's got a bloody nose. Okay, you take this nose, you've already cut around it. You take the cartilage and you cut your knife right straight down into the cartilage, just like that. See how you peeled that back? Now you pull this nose back, and you take about a 1/2 inch from the top of this base right here, and you just cut right through all that cartilage. But you got to be careful when you cut through that cartilage, you're not cutting through the skin here. So you got to put your fingers back there and just make a cut, just like that. See how I cut that? Both sides, the nose part, the cartilage, and right down to the skin. Now you hold your finger there, and you cut that right down to the skin. You cut till you see the skin, and you can just fletch it back. All the way around now. That's how simple it is. Put your finger right there, right where you're going to make your cut, so you know where your knife is at. See how I'm shaving that right back? And you do the same thing to the other side. Now I've already cut through the cartilage, so now I'm just peeling the meat back all the way around it. Come on this side here, cut all that down to the hide, and do the same thing, just peel it back. You work your way right around. Pretty simple, and you'll find that once you do one or two, it's not that hard to do, it really isn't. And you're going to save yourself a lot of money in the long run, because especially if you hunt out west, or you hunt in Kansas, you hunt Iowa, I mean, you cannot bring these deer back legally without getting these things caped out and getting that brain taken out and that membrane on the inside cleaned up. So, you know, you save a bundle by doing it yourself, and it's not that hard to do. Okay, I just work this right down as far as I can. See how that lips just come right off that. Pretty simple. Now I like to work this down as far as I can, and the reason is because when I keep my heads out, now you don't have to do it this way, but this is the way I do it. I keep everything right out of the mouth. I take it right, you'll see what I'm talking about. I keep it right off the face, right through the mouth. A lot of guys will keep it back. See, there's neck in here. You have to cut this neck all the way up into that joint in order to get it through that TV you're doing, that T-cut. So you'll see what I'm talking about here in a minute when I get down through the eyes. Now you go back up here. Now you know your face is all cleaned up already. You can't make a cut. You can't wreck the lips. The nose is done. Now we're just going to work ourselves right around to the eyes. And like I said, I'm having a little bit of an issue with this one here only because this neck is solid. And I don't even know if I can get this hide off from that neck because it's being frozen. Just keep working yourself right around. Now you're on this ear on this side. You do the same thing. Work that down. That frozen neck. And once I get down to, I get my knife in there. There's the butt. Just cut right through that butt, right to the ear. Right through the ear to the skin, and now just continue bringing that around. All right, here we go. We got this slice all the way down the back, and what I did, this neck is frozen solid, so it took me a little bit to get this neck off this thing. But what I do is I cut this down, and this neck, I hate this big neck in here. I like these neck where it's cut off closer to the head where it flips right over. You cut it down, you flip it off the back, cut all the way around it, and you peel this right off the back of that like that. It comes down, you keep peeling all the way down it. You get to the eye now. You've got that all the way off there. Now you get to this eye. Now here's the trick right here. You don't want to cut these eyes. It's very important not to make slices in that eye for the taxidermy. Put your finger, what I do is I put my finger right in the eye socket. And then I start working the skin. See how I work that skin right down? Right tight to that bone. Now you want to put your finger right on the corner of that eye and shove it all the way to that corner so you can fill the corner of that eyeball. Now you're making a cut right there along the bone on that eye. So you got all that skin in there. See how I'm doing that? And I'm working it down until it opens right up. Now there's my finger, and here's the skin. All that skin right there, I'm keeping on that eye. Now you cut that skin right close. Now I take my finger out and I pull this skin away from that eye, so I keep that skin right on that eyeball, just like that. And I cut it right tight. You getting that on the camera, the tightness of that? Cut that right tight against that tear duct. Now you pull it down. Now, whenever you cut a tear duct out, that's the part that goes right under the eye there. There's a big hole that goes right down into the skull. I like to start at the bottom of the eye and cut that tear duct out, not through the top, the bottom. I just work my knife right into that tear duct socket and just take little chunks. You see how it comes right off there? That way there you're not cutting a hole through that tear duct. That's right at the bottom of the eye. Then you just work that right on down. Work it down the skin, just like that. Now you can see here, this is all opened up because we already went through the mouth. We cut the mouth, cleaned that all up. Now we're not cutting no lips, no nothing. Now we flip it over. You see I started this side, do the same thing with that eye. Take your finger out, hold that skin, see where that skin is. Pull that skin right tight. Now look at the skin we got on that eyeball. You want to leave that skin. It's very important because the taxidermist needs that skin to tuck around the eye. And you keep cutting around it. Now here's the tear duct here at the bottom of the eye. Make a slice in it. And like I said on the other side, always come from the bottom. It's just easier. Make a little slice right there and work it right out. There's a tear duct. See that little hole right there? Indent. And just working right on down until it's right off from the face. That's all there is to it right there. There's your hide. Now you can take that hide and get that thing on ice as quick as you can. Stick it in a plastic bag, put it in the cooler, roll her up. Now, to cut these antlers off. I like to take this skin here and just cut this skin off the front a little bit. All that fat in there, just trim it off. Make a cut in the back here, just cut these big chunks of fat off, meat, right down to the bone. Just like that. Then I make a cut right here at the back of that skull. I cut my knife right down in there. Cut that right off from there. The reason I do that, this is a frozen neck, of course, but it lets my saw get in there and make the cut that I need. Now I take a regular meat saw. Now you can use anything. I draw an imaginary line right behind the eyeball, about a half inch down from the skull, and in between the eyeball and the antler, and I go on an angle. This is the angle you're looking for right here. You follow that neck down. Not like this, but that angle. Follow the neck down. I just start my cut. Try to keep it as straight as possible. This particular antler is real low, as you can see how it swoops down real quick, so it's hard to get my saw up in there. I go right down to about 2 inches. I pull my saw. Now, of course, you're not going to have this convenience. I got a hole here in my bench that I use for this. You have to have somebody hold it for you. Now, take your blade and you follow this eyeball with the back of the skull. That's why I cut that off there. You come down about 1 inch and follow that line right straight in the center of that eyeball. You're going to meet where your blade cuts right here. Keep it nice and straight. Right straight down until it comes off. Now what you got to do, take this brain out, and what you're looking for is this membrane right here. See this? This has to come out. And what I do is I take a pair of pliers and I just grab a hold of that skin and I pull that skin right out of there. It's all got to come out of there, just like that. That's the part that's got to come out. And what I do, then you got to take a knife and just clean all this meat off this thing. It takes probably about 10-15 minutes. Clean her all up real good. I put a little salt on it when I'm done, and you're ready to go. I'm Colvin, and that is your tip of the month.